Welcome to the channel. This video is focused on Desmos regression for 800. If you had this video to the 4th video I've made on how to achieve 800 on your SAT score, you'll be golden. In this video, I'm going to show you little tricks to answer any regression question they will give you on the SAT. Are you ready? Pick up your paper and pen and write with me. Desmos all the way. Let's go. First question. The function f is defined by this. It looks complex, right? Don't worry. And they give you a domain, a greater than 1 and b greater than 0, right? If f of 1 is 6 and f of 2 is that function over there, what is the value of that scary thing over there? Look, straightforward, Desmos all the way. We're going to put this in Desmos, and then we'll see how Desmos is going to answer it. So class take first expression, making sure you put your domain. And then based on these values, f of 1 to 6, f of 2 to that number, if you see that those are coordinates, you can plot it when you're using regression. It's another form of regression. So 1 go into 6, 2 go into 185 over 16. And then you plot your graph. This is not a linear equation. This is what? Exponential regression. I will copy that function and that will become my new equation. And I'll put it here. I'm going to label it as what? G of x. So this is G of x. And I'm going to regress it with our original f of s. So f of s, 1, regression, and G of x, 1. And this gives you a and a b value. What is that? Now they want us to find f of 3. That's that value. But the actual one they want to calculate is 11473. And this is that value. If you convert this into fraction, convert this to fraction is 1 over 64. And this is how you can approach it. The other way you can do it instead of the graph is to basically regress the function right away. And I'm going to show you that one. That is also another way you can. That's what most people try to do. But the graph is better, right? So what you're going to do, you're going to regress. You say f of 1, then f of 2. You put all those terms on the left side, regression to their answers. Their answers are what? 6 and 185 over 16. And you see we get an answer right away. You plot the graph. It's the same thing. This is your graph. This is the same answers we got. And then you can put your answer in 1 over 1473 times f of 3. That'll give you the same answer. And this is converted to a fraction. You get 164. Whichever way it works for you, try to do. If you want to see the graph and the point, yeah. But this is most typical way students try to do it, but sometimes you can draw a graph. And this is the first question. Into the polynomial function as zeros at what? X minus 32, x minus 20, x 24. If f can be written in this form, right, where m and p are integers, what is the value of p over mn? Answer in the nearest whole number. This is also typical regression question. When you see zeros, they are coordinates, right? X is equal to minus 32, x is equal to minus 20, x is equal to 24. You can plot a graph, you can do your regression. So many ways you can do it. We're going to do the two, and then I will show you another strategy. So like I said, those are zeros, and therefore they are coordinates. So you can say minus 32, right? It's like intercept on the x-axis. Minus 20 and 24. What happened to y? Y is all 0, 0, 0. And you plot your graph. It's not a linear equation because you can see based on the form of the equation we've given s raised to 3. So it's a cubic regression. So you go for cubic regression and then you can customize it. And so this is what he has done for us. But remember, this customization is not the same as our answer. Our s to the raised to the 3 does not have any variable in front, any constant in front of it. So we have the a here and the B here, and the C here. So change it to the form that will be given. So this was M, and this was N, and then this was P. And so I change it in that form. And our S to the third is negative. And so this matches exactly what we have. And Desmos give me the answer. It gave me M is equal to minus 28, N 609, and P that. So you get all the answers. And they ask you what? P divided by MN. And you get negative 0.9, and nearest node is -1. The other way of doing it is just doing the regression right away. So we get -1. We're going to do the regression right away instead of plotting the point. So first you got to write the expression. So that Desmos, you got to define it for Desmos. So we're going to define it, and it's what? Minus s to the cube mn s squared and p. So that's the function. Now we have all these s value. That means they are points, like I told you. What we're going to do the regression, we say, okay, f of, you got to use f of what? Minus 32. That means when x is minus 32, right? F of minus 20, then f of 24, all close, regress to what are your answer? They are zeros. So zeros, 0, and 0, 30. And we get the same answer, minus 28, 30, 28, N is that, P is that. And it plot the graph for you. We don't need to look at a graph, but this is the function, as you can see. The answer choice is the same. And therefore, if we find P over MN, you get negative 0.9, which is what? 1. Regression for 800. These little strategies, no matter how complex it is, you should be able to feel comfortable. This is how I can teach you Desmos in the easiest and simplest strategy. Any way they can ask you, this will be your boy. You use this to answer questions on what? Geometry? Yes. It depends on how you approach it. You have to know the formulas, but you can also do the regression. It's a right circular cone, right? This is a cone. This is how a cone look like, right? This is a circular cone. What is the question? It's formed with a solid material with a uniform density. The mass of the cone is that. So they're giving you mass. So this is our mass here. And they said the density of the material is this. So we have a density here. And they said the numerical value of the base, this is the area base, right? Is 1/8 of the numerical volume of the whole cone. What is the slant height of the cone? Well, you know you need volume based on what they've told you. What is the volume? You got to use density is what? Mass over volume. And therefore, volume is what? Density. Volume is mass over density. That's the first equation. You also need what? Area of the base. The area of the base, you see, this is a circle, and therefore is pi radius squared. And then if you want to find the slant height, look at it. This is the slant, and this is the actual height. This becomes Pythagoras theorem. So this is the height of the cone, this is the radius, and this is the actual slant height. And the slant height is s squared is equal to what? The Pythagoras theorem, 8 squared plus r squared. And so these are your 3 equations. You can put this in Desmos and you solve this straightforward. So let's do it. We don't have to do any calculation. I'm just showing you strategy. Mass is what? 735 pi. That's the mass. You got to divide it by the density. The density is 15/8. Therefore, if you divide it, you're going to multiply this by 8 and divide all of them by 15. That's the volume. What we need is the area of the base. The area of the base is what? They said is 1/8 of the numerical value of the what? The volume. So I'm just going to do 1/8 of that. So 1/8 of all this volume, right? And I'm going to put in the bracket And then I would say 7/3 pi times same thing, 8. I'm just being lazy. I'm just going to put everything there and let Desmos do the calculation over 15. Just make sure you type in the right thing. What is the next thing? I need the slant height. Slant height is S squared. Well, S squared. That's all. That's your first thing. So we have a volume, we have the base area, and we have the slant height. These should regress to the norms we're supposed to do. That's all. What are we supposed to do? Volume is what? 1/3 pi radius square times the height, because you need the height to calculate the slant height. I don't know, but we don't have to do it separately. What is the area? It's pi radius square. We don't even have to calculate the radius. It will calculate for us. What is the slant height? It's the height square plus the radius square. And boom, we have the radius of 7, height of 24, slant height 25. If you want to verify, you can verify, because you got to calculate the density which has been given the mass. So when you calculate the volume, you can use the volume to find the height, but you need the radius. You can find the radius from the area. You know the radius and the area from the 1/8 of the what? The volume here. And then you go back and calculate it. And then you find the H and the R, which you know, and the X. But in any case, that's most straightforward. You put the equation there and you want to see how it looks. This is the way it looks. We just basically regress each individual value, right? Volume, area, and a slant height. And we write your formula, and boom, we get our right answer. 4 is a percentage question. Can A cost 120% of the combined cost of B and C? So A is what? 120%. I put 120% here. B plus C. They said the cost of B is 15% greater than the cost of A. This, we got to hold on to that. It's just telling you the relationship. It doesn't tell you what you need to do with it. The cost of D is actually the equal to the difference between the cost of A and the combined cost of B and C. Oh, so D is actually the difference, A cost minus the difference B and C. If you look at it carefully, if A is 120% of what? B and C, and D is A minus C, B and C, this is the same thing as what? 20% of B and C. So D is actually 20% of B and C. They want you to know what is the relationship between D and A. So, actually, I don't need what is the relationship between B and C. I just know A and D. And then you put this in Desmos. So we start with A, D, and D. And then we regress. And we say, what is the first thing? 120% of what? B and C. The B and C, that's the first thing. And the second one is 20% of B and C. And the third one, I want to know how much is of A is what? D. Therefore, P percent of A. And you get what? P is 16. Actually, the relationship between D over A is the 0.16. So that's your right answer. Don't screw it up with that. Very important. 1/6 is asking you the cost of A to the cost of what? D. A is bigger than D, and the ratio between D and A is 1/6. Even though I use the percentage, you have to reinterpret it. The percentage, that means P is actually 1/6, and 1/6 is what? 0.16, and the percentage give you what? 16%, 16.6. So if you don't take care, you miss that one. But this is the way you use regression to answer this complex, complicated percentage question. If you master this, you'll be golden. And question 5 is my favorite. It has multiple regression. You may see questions like that. That's multiple regression. Don't panic. Just stay put, be careful. You can do this algebra, but like I said, this video is a regression strategy to know certain concept. So what do you see? They give you this equation, system of equation, and they give you the relationship between B and C. And they say in this equation, B and C are constant. What is the value of y minus x? Well, this is a multiple regression. So we can do this in multiple regression, right? We said what? Make sure you equate the function to each other. The first one is what? 6x plus b. I don't know what is the function, but I know 6y is the second one, right? Plus c. What is the third one? Is b. What am I going to do? Just regress it with their individual function. 6x plus b is 10x minus 4. So 14. So I just write it. Same thing. 10y minus 14. And then b is what? D minus 1 over 4. This is actually a very nice algebra question. When you solve it, it's so beautiful. And so this is what you got. If you have to do the regression, you got to put x1, y1, x1, y1, and they give you the right answer right here. Now they want us to find y minus x. It's a trap. If you type y minus x, you're not going to get an answer, right? Because your answers are now y1, x1. So you get y1, x1. And that gives you the value. And this is 1 over 16. Very elegant equation. It's so beautiful when you solve it algebra. How? You can just subtract the two equations from each other. You solve for y and x, and they will have a good relationship, and then you can put this function in it. When you solve it, you'll see it. But this next time I will solve it algebraically. But this is Desmos. 5 questions. What is your results? I hope you get 5 out of 5. This is 5 questions on regression strategy. You can see just 5 questions. You know every little things, every trick, how to regress, how to pick a graph in a simple, straightforward way. If this video helped you, put a little bit of comment in the comment section and let me know how the channel is doing. Take care of yourself and good luck in your exams.